Hello, it's Talking Transfers. It's John Gibbons here with Paul Gorst from the Liverpool Echo to talk about all the latest in the transfer world. Comings, goings, whatever's going on in the last week that the transfer window is open. It's Friday. Paul, are you ready? I don't know about the Reds, but are you ready for it?
I'm not really, because we've got a Jurgen Klopp press conference, the Europa League draw, and transfer deadline day. So, not a great Friday night from the social perspective. But yeah, it's all coming to a head, isn't it? Liverpool normally quite quiet on deadline day. Normally they've got the ducks in a row and all the business is done, but I suspect it's not quite the case this time around.
No, it looks like they're going to be going right to the wire in terms of ins and outs, and we're going to talk about both of those. But I want to start with the big man, Mo Salah. You know, he's the biggest name, obviously, at the football club, and one being linked away. It did seem to gather a little bit of traction, not necessarily locally, but you know, in other parts of the world, which you understand. You know, he's a world icon, isn't he? So it's going to get, you know, interest a bit wider than Nat Phillips. But more on him later. Don't worry, he's coming up.
The obligatory Phillips update.
But it did seem to go on a little bit, you know, more than to suggest that there's maybe something in it, even if it's nothing from Liverpool's side.
Yeah, I think there's no doubt that the Saudi Pro League are determined to get Mo Salah across there at some stage. I think this is a little bit of the long goodbye for Mo Salah, a little bit of the sowing the seeds for next summer, maybe, when he'll have 12 months on his contract and Liverpool have got a real decision to make there, whether to stick or twist.
Because he's not going to take a pay cut, you wouldn't have thought.
No, you wouldn't have thought that, would you? And, you know, he's currently the highest earner at Liverpool by considerable distance. So there's a big decision for Liverpool next summer. I think this summer is fairly cut and dry, as Jurgen said, and as people behind the scenes have said unequivocally, really. There's no offer coming in, so there's nothing to discuss. But Liverpool will do their utmost to bat away whatever comes in. I do think there's a little bit of a little bit of a unease around the place, you know, just in case a bid does come in, and then it's a decision that has to be made, and who's making that decision, you know, it would be open to interpretation. But for now, all the noise is that Liverpool have no interest in selling Mo Salah, and any kind of bid would be rebuffed. But Al Ittihad, isn't it, who are making their moves, the Saudi champions. I think this is their kind of charm offensive beginning early, really, for 12 months down the line.
So they're thinking, if we can get him now, brilliant, but if not, we're starting the process to what feels like reasonably inevitable to me. I mean, I'm not saying necessarily next summer, but it feels like at some point, you know, he's going to sort of end up there. Yeah,
I mean, he's one of the biggest football names and faces in the world, isn't he? And certainly in the Arabic world. So for him to go to the Saudi Pro League would be an incredible coup for them, probably bigger than Cristiano Ronaldo, I'd argue, or Karim Benzema, the current Ballon d'Or holder. So, yeah, I do think that, you know, efforts will be ramped up, well, maybe even this week, but certainly over the next 6 to 9 to 12 months.
The good thing about Mo is you can sort of allow him to keep focus throughout the whole thing. I thought he played really well under difficult circumstances against Newcastle. He obviously sets up the winner. He creates as many as he scores, you know, nowadays, doesn't he? And I don't have any worries personally about, you know, even if he was tempted by the offer this time, I don't see him being someone who goes on strike or even, you know, downs tools. You know, he's too professional. He's got too much pride in him, and I think he does love Liverpool.
100%, yeah. I mean, you know, at Liverpool, he's gone from being a fairly decent winger at Roma to being one of the world stars of the game, and, you know, one of the all-time greats at Liverpool who's won a lot. So I think there's a huge amount of respect from the players' side to the club, and vice versa. So I don't see any rocking of the boat or anything like that. Certainly not this week, and going forward, we'll see. But yeah, it's weird to think of a Liverpool without Mo Salah, but I think maybe in not necessarily 12 months, even, you know, from January onwards, you start to look at it thinking something is coming on the horizon in Liverpool. Will they stick, will they twist, and we'll see. But Liverpool can't think about selling this week, can they? Surely not. There's no one who's going to get in to replace him adequately. You just don't replace a Mo Salah unless it's a Kylian Mbappe, if it's a like-for-like thing, but can't see that really. And then you're looking into how do you replace Mo Salah? You're going to have to share around that goal scoring and create a burden elsewhere, and other players have got to step up. You've got to bring in the right players, and it's just far too much to do, to be honest, if Liverpool were to sell Mo Salah this week, and it wouldn't be a good look for the club or the owners, would it?